VT Digger estimates that 60% of Burlingtonians are renters. That's an extremely high percentage of our population that fall into the category of renters. I believe, after speaking to many Burlingtonians, that a strong percentage of these renters rent not because they want to rent, but because they feel compelled to, because there's nothing to purchase in the entry-level market in Burlington. We have to find a solution to open up the entry-level housing market in Burlington. Owning a property, owning your home, is the greatest way to provide housing security to any Burlingtonian. It's how you build wealth, intergenerational wealth that you can pass down through your family, that you can accrue interest on, that you can use to upgrade as a down payment to a new home. This is about building wealth as a community and lifting everyone up together. This concept has worked in many places throughout the nation. Home ownership is what drives prosperity. Too many Burlingtonians are stuck in the endless cycle of renting. How do we find a solution to this? City regulations tend to be heavy-handed and limit what a property owner can do. However, there are loopholes. There is a solution and there is a path forward for Burlington where we can all lift each other up together. Some regulations are very keyed in on larger apartment buildings, over 10 units. But one of these exemptions, it ties in with apartment buildings that have less or fewer than 10 units. From here, we can approach landlords and stakeholders, see if they're interested in taking on investors. The property owners or current property owners that manage the property, the landlords, they could sell the individual units on the market. I know plenty of Burlingtonians that would jump at the opportunity to buy a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment in town, pay a monthly HOA fee to their current property owner, manager, to cover the cost of municipal taxes, water and sewage, and from there we can build wealth. It offsets any kind of additional tax burden or unfunded mandates that the city council pushes through to change the way you heat your home to that of the new property owners. And we have more property owners in Burlington as part of the electorate, heavily invested in our community, wanting to take their hard-earned money and put it back into their new home and revitalize it. The best way to get Burlingtonians to restore their housing stock is to try and incrementally shift to a condo or co-op type model. Renters tend to be a little bit hard on older properties. And some of our older properties are in the range of about 100 to 150 years old. Some beautiful old Victorians, some old New England manors that have been carved up, but because of the nature of them being rentals, they tend to be run down. If a property that has 5 units in it is then turned into 5 condo or co-op type apartments owned by the occupant, people are more likely to invest in upgrades, upgrade their kitchens, upgrade their bathrooms, upgrade their insulation. We can have build a more environmentally friendly city together without insisting that the property owners, the current landlords, shoulder this burden. When we insist that the property owners and the landlords shoulder the burdens of these unfunded mandates to require conversions like under the thermal energy solutions, the unintended consequences of this are all of our rents are going to rise. It is inevitable. That is the nature of this situation. You require landlords to put out $20,000 to change out the heating systems in there. They're going to recuperate that cost some way, and the way they're going to do it is through raising rents. Now the city can try and the progressives on council can try and turn around and say, well, we're going to enact regulations that put into play rent control. That is the worst choice we could possibly make as a community. Once the city decides to go the route of rent control, all growth in our city will become stagnant, and that's especially dangerous because currently we're at about a 1% vacancy rate, which makes it extremely difficult to provide housing security to anybody in that 60% of Burlingtonians that rent.